Hello and welcome to State of the Economy. Today we have with us a very special guest, Environment Minister, Union Environment Minister, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, who will be going to Paris next week to represent India in the critical negotiations on climate change. There is a lot of contest that is going on there between the developed and the developing countries. India has taken a very proactive role led by Mr. Javadekar, and India for the first time or for once is not being seen as a deal breaker, is being seen as a country which is participating in the overall climate mitigation and adaptation strategies. So we have Mr. Javadekar with us to explain what are the dynamics of the climate change negotiations that we are going to witness in Paris next week. Welcome to our show, Mr. Javadekar. So,
yes.
बताएं आप क्या बड़े इश्यूज़ हैं और किस तरह आप स्ट्रेटजाइज कर रहे हैं कि इंडिया को बेस्ट डील मिले, जहां पे इंडिया का डेवलपमेंट इम्पेरेटिव्स कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ ना हो और बाकी इंडिया एक ग्लोबल एक कार्बन रिडक्शन एक स्ट्रैटेजी में भी पूरी तरह शामिल हो।
पहले तो ये हुआ था कि भारत की प्रतिमा एक नकारात्मक बनी थी। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी खुद जलवायु परिवर्तन के विषय में संवेदनशील है और वो अगुवाई करके उन्होंने नई कल्पनाएं दुनिया के सामने रखी, जैसे क्लाइमेट जस्टिस है, सोलर अलायंस है, लाइफस्टाइल इश्यूज़ है। तो ये सब लाने के कारण और भारत ने जिस तरह से अपने लक्ष्य रखे, इससे पूरी दुनिया प्रभावित हुई और जिस तरह से दुनिया का आउटरीच भी हमारा बढ़ा है, तो इसका परिणाम है कि आज भारत को एक प्रमुख ताकत के रूप में, यानी पेरिस समझौता ठीक हो, इसके लिए एक प्रमुख भागीदार के रूप में देखा जाता है, न कि नकारात्मक। लेकिन अमेरिका के विदेश मंत्री ने अभी बयान दिया कि भारत शायद समस्या हो सकता है, तो ये अनावश्यक था, ये सही नहीं है। उल्टा अगर कोई समस्या बन सकता है तो पाश्चात्य देशों में कुछ देश ऐसे हैं कि जो अपने कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाना नहीं चाहते और ज़्यादा लक्ष्य नहीं लेना चाहते, तो उनका एटीट्यूड ही प्रश्न रहेगा। बाकी पूरा विकसनशील समूह उन्होंने तो खुद अपने लक्ष्य निर्धारित किए हैं, तो ये तो अच्छा चल रहा है। बड़ी बात यह है कि ये हो क्या रहा है, ये हमें समझना चाहिए। आई थिंक दिस इज़ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्फ्रेंस वेयर द वर्ल्ड विल एंटर इनटू ए न्यू रेजिम of climate change mitigation.
Okay.
Today,
new regime as opposed to old Kyoto regime. Yeah.
Because Kyoto regime में दुनिया के दो विभाग बनाए थे,
Annex 1 और Annex 2.
Annex 1 को ही सारी जिम्मेवारी थी कि कटौती करना अपने एमिशंस में, और जो विकसनशील देश है उन पर कोई बंधन नहीं था,
उनमें कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं थी।
हाँ, लेकिन अब खुद दुनिया ने नई संवेदना के साथ ये तय किया कि हम जिम्मेवारी से काम करेंगे सारे देश, और इसलिए हर देश ने लक्ष्य रखा है। तो 170 देशों ने अपने लक्ष्य घोषित किए हैं। मुझे लगता है ये एक बड़ी पहल है, तो ये उसका मतलब है। और इसके साथ फाइनेंस भी $100 बिलियन, ये that is very important aspect of finance and technology
from
support.
2020, yeah.
So that is what Paris will decide. And so with these 2-3 new features, I think we are entering into a new regime, but that regime will be under UNFCCC, under convention, with all principles of common but differentiated responsibilities, polluters to pay, historical responsibility and equity. All will be there embedded so firmly.
So basically, Mr. Javadekar, what you are saying is we are entering a new phase, a new framework of negotiations, where Annex 1 and Annex 2, the thin dividing line between Annex 1 and Annex 2 will be blurred, but common but differentiated responsibilities will remain.
No, not only that, it will not be blurred in a way, because historical responsibility cannot be wished away like this.
Okay, so historical
because
responsibility
today,
will be...
I'll explain. Because today, if we are experiencing erratic monsoon, if today we are experiencing more cycles of drought and flood, if we are experiencing today untimely rains,
And food security is linked to that.
though it's all about, if it is all about climate change, who is responsible? Today, the temperature rise has taken place of 0.8 degree. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
And if that is happened, who is responsible? Because this is the result of emissions for over 150 years.
Yeah.
And in
Since the
that,
industrial revolution.
India's share is just 3%.
Yeah.
Developed world share is 80%. China is 10%. And therefore, we are
In that
only
way,
3%.
India is the least responsible for what is happening today.
But we are suffering because of what is happening today.
Yeah.
And therefore, we are saying that though we are not part of the problem, we want to be part of solution.
Solution in
and
future.
therefore, we are networking all developing world and even making dialogue with all developed world so that we arrive at a amicable solution in
So
Paris.
are you, Mr. Javadekar, are you in touch with other countries
all countries.
on this? Because there are many countries like India who so far are not part of the problem, but who are willing to be part of the solution, right? Like India. So are they coming
We
together?
are already working with our basic group. We are working with like-minded development countries in
Like
which
South
there
Africa, China, Brazil.
are 30-40 countries in like-minded development countries. We are working with G77 plus China.
Okay.
We are also working with developed countries. In last 1 year, practically what has happened is our ministry has become like a Ministry of External Affairs where
Okay.
we are holding bilateral talks with more than 60 countries have done bilaterals.
So Javadekar ji, tell me, give me two issues on which all these countries are firmly together, where there will be no compromise. One is $100 billion of
No, that
climate
is-
fund
these are-
and technology transfer.
Everything has not finalized and nothing can be said till it is finally declared.
Declared.
Because
But what's your sense? I'm
I'll tell
asking
you.
a political
The
sense.
political sense is that Paris will be a success because world has started acting on its own and already it will be under convention. Some countries wanted to rewrite the convention. We said firmly no, and so it will be under convention with all the principles and elements embedded in it. So I think then it will be a good deal. Also, differentiation across all sectors is an important issue. Finance and technology support, $100 billion now.
That's a key issue actually.
But that is key issue, but that is actually a deal maker also.
Okay.
Because French President Hollande has very clearly warned and cautioned developed world that Paris success is not certain unless we solve these two vexed issues of technology transfer. But this was raised by India, technology. Because we said when technology has a power to mitigate the challenge, why technology should not flow freely?
and without
why
any
we-
patents or intellectual property rights.
why we want to profit from disaster, and therefore we said we need to actually allow free flow of technology at an affordable cost, and we can compensate certain companies of critical technologies through Green Climate Fund.
Mr. Javadekar, there is one suggestion that this $100 billion fund, whether they agree to $100 billion or not, is a separate issue. Even if you have a $50 billion fund to begin with, can this fund finance research in critical areas of green technology and thereby distribute the technology as part of this fund, free of
we are insisting for this, and all countries are positively attuned to it. And if that really happens, it will be a major gain for India and the developing world, and a major revolution in international framework.
Like I'll give you an example. The synthesis report, based on which all these talks are happening, has been in that synthesis report. IPCC's 70,000 scientists have participated. Why can't these 70,000 scientists also be participate in developing critical technologies?
But that is also on cards. When Prime Minister Modi and President Obama met, they discussed about the joint research, collaboration and innovation. So that will emerge. But we need to also have arrangement of existing technologies also. So that is important. There are two contexts which are important. India is in a very peculiar situation. We have 17% of the world's population.
Yeah.
We have 17% of cattle population as well.
Yeah.
Both require food, water and
Exactly.
land. And we have only 2.5% land of the world. And we have
even our
only 4% of fresh rainwater resources.
Yeah, less than
So we are constrained with this. But still we want to work with the world to arrive at a negotiated settlement.
Okay. So Mr. Javadekar, now there is a fear, apprehension that the big companies, multinationals of the West, they want to profit from this whole arrangement. They want to sell technology, get royalties, and all kinds of big figures are being quoted. If India has committed to having 40% of its energy basket as non-fossil fuel. It's a huge commitment. China is also committed. That's how India and China are participating in the larger venture of green technologies and reducing carbon footprint in the world. So there is a fear that if all these technologies are imported and if royalty is charged, then India and China may have to give the US and European multinationals $30-40 billion every year.
I really don't think so.
Yeah.
Because we have experience.
I hope it doesn't come to that.
No, because solar, we have, it was basically European and US technologies which were at the forefront 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But last 10 years, India also developed some potential, but China developed in a major way. And now they are providing so cheap. So competition, ultimately market forces prevailed. And now the power
So you
which
think
was
China is
90
emerged as a
rupees.
cheap supplier of solar
Yeah.
technology.
So this happens.
So that's a good development.
And we want, that is why we are engaged with Solar Alliance concept,
Okay.
where there is a bright sunshine. So let us, all those countries, work together jointly so that we can create buyer's market, as well as also we can have joint collaboration, research and other efforts.
Okay. There is another apprehension, Javadekar ji, that the US-China bilateral deal on climate, now it's not necessary that it will be accepted by the multilateral framework, but if you go by that, a study done by the Center for Science and Environment shows that they may end up by 2015, China and US both may have per capita emissions of 14. At the moment, China is about 7.5, we are 1.7. So how much do you think India should be allowed to go? Because if China goes to 14
That is why
tons of carbon per capita.
My two takes. First, everybody was asking when China will peak, because China is a large emitter.
But they've agreed to peak in 2030, right?
But 2030, both US and China will converge at 12 or 14 tons per
14,
capita.
Yeah, per capita, yeah.
We will never reach that figure. We are just below 2 tons per capita today. And even if we grow fast, as we will do it for next 15 years, we are thinking that we will grow faster.
So you think we might peak at 8 or 9?
But no. Nobody has asked us when we will peak, because I have said we'll never reach 14.
Okay. So you are saying that we have a cushion at least till 14?
No, not 14. 14 tons
14
per
tons.
capita, and that is not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. You are saying that we'll meet all our development objectives much before that?
Much before that, and much before going to that figure, because science and technology is not static.
Static, okay.
It will develop. So we'll leapfrog.
So you basically you're saying that there'll be so much clean energy technology that will adapt, that we won't have to go
up to 14.
that level of per
so
capita.
For us, peaking nobody has asked, and that's not an issue for India. What is important is, on technology, these critical technologies need to come, and that is what Paris actually is an issue. And if that comes about, if countries really give and impart, then it will be really good. And see, you were saying that markets and people are eyeing how much profit they can make. But I always say that for fighting HIV/AIDS, we have supplied free cheap
To
medicines
Africa and all, yeah.
without IPR and other things.
Yeah.
Why can't we do the same here? This is much more
Exactly,
threat
you have to replicate that very model here.
here.
Yeah, so do you think, have you spoken to the Chinese authorities?
No, we have talked to all countries, but IPR, I said you compensate the companies necessary, and that is now actively being considered. Let us see how it shapes.
And besides, I think the volume is so big that any company supplying to India or such populous countries will actually make money on volumes
No,
itself.
but till that time, I think within next 5-6 years, our Make in India is essentially Innovate in India is also a part of Make in India.
Okay.
Actually, the thrust of Make in India is Innovate in India.
So
Make in
green
India.
technology is very much part of Make
So
in India.
we will also be developing newer technologies because we are promoting innovations in large way.
Can you give me, Mr. Javadekar, a rough roadmap for this 40% of our energy basket, which will be non-fossil fuel?
See, it
over
includes
the next
nuclear also.
15-20 years. So
It is solar.
how will it pan out?
Next 7 years, we have already decided to have 175,000 megawatts of green power through solar, wind, biomass, and small hydro.
Okay.
If we add other hydels, big hydels also, plus nuclear, I think by within next 7-8 years, we'll have 200 gigawatts. And next 8 years, till 2030, we'll be at least doubling that capacity. So it's a huge program of India in solar and now with latest round of tenders, now the price has come down to 4 rupees and 63
That was the next
paisa.
question I was going to ask. Is solar power, is the price coming down reasonably?
Yes, 4 rupees and 63 paisa. Now, within 1 or 2 years, it may equal to the cost of thermal power.
Thermal power.
Then that will be a major relief. The major argument today against solar is that but it's costly. But when there are same price, then there is no issue of cost. Then issue of 24-hour supply and the connectivity to the grid is the only issue.
Tell me, Mr. Javadekar, a country like Germany, I read somewhere, is
They are moving
is
from
committing
nuclear
to 80% of the energy basket to be non-fossil fuel. Now, if these kind of breakthroughs happen, as you just said, do you think it's possible that India's energy basket may have much more than 40%?
Yeah, 40% is what
just the
we have
minimum.
reasonably thought of.
Okay.
But it can exceed also.
It can exceed. You think it can exceed?
Yeah, but Germany has now come out of nuclear and is moving towards coal. So their energy figures earlier, energy mix figures will get radically changed
Okay.
adversely.
Why are they moving towards coal?
Because they are shunning nuclear.
Okay, because the Fukushima disaster and what do you think of nuclear power in India? Do you think, given our dense populations,
It's safe.
if you get big breakthroughs in solar, then do you think you'll need nuclear?
See, we
at
need
the same scale as thought before.
we need all sources of power.
But you can mix and the weightages can change, right?
The weightages means first build capacities, start progressing. 7.5% progress even for 15 years means tremendous things. It will triple our incomes, it will triple our GDP, will be $10 trillion economy by that time and 10 or 12 trillion dollar and will grow like that. When we are growing like that, you need power and so we need all sources.
Tell me now, you must have spoken to various countries in preparation for the Paris climate change.
You are seeing the impact on my throat.
Yeah, you have a bad throat. So what's your political sense? US, European Union, China, India, these are 4 big players. Now, tell me, just give me a sense on what issues do you think there is a broad consensus?
There is broad consensus on that this will be under convention and with all its elements and principles. Only 1 or 2 countries are opposing that idea, but I think finally the collective wisdom will prevail on that. There is sense of urgency on finance and there will be pledges of $100 billion. The issue is there should not be double accounting. As they have presented, $62 billion are already in the market,
Okay.
but nobody has bought that theory,
Okay.
bought that theory, and therefore they will have to give new additional predictable
On what
scalable
basis are they saying so 60 billion
all,
already in the market?
ODA funds. The
They've
development
aggregated
fund,
all the funds.
They have aggregated all external assistance in the Green Climate Fund. That is not the idea.
Okay, so you have opposed that.
No, it is not opposing. We are proposing
That
this
that
is
won't
not
work.
correct.
Yeah.
What will work is new additional predictable, essentially public money, but private money also varies. It's a non-profit money.
Javadekar ji, there is also this apprehension that Obama is on his way out. They call him a lame duck president. Now, has the U.S. Congress, will the U.S. Congress at this juncture support funding of that magnitude, the climate change fund that?
No, absolutely. U.S. Congress and Senate, they are not sure. That is why they don't want INDCs and all these issues to be part of legally binding agreement.
Okay.
Legally binding will be only the process.
Okay, so you are saying that this conference will probably establish foundations and processes.
That's it.
And you may have an agreement in the subsequent.
No, it will not be a new agreement. The same agreement will provide for reviews, reporting, and midterm reviews. So that can be.
Finally, Javadekar ji, आप ये बताइए कि what is India independently, autonomously doing for
Our
adaptation and
INDCs.
mitigation on its own account?
See, हमारे
Because एक view है कि हम लोग अपने आप कुछ कर नहीं रहे.
नहीं,
States
हम ही कर रहे हैं.
states के डोमेन में जो
नो मैं वही कह रहा हूँ.
वाटर
उल्टा
मैनेजमेंट, फूड मैनेजमेंट.
आज हमें स्वच्छ भारत, स्वच्छ पानी, स्वच्छ ऊर्जा, स्वच्छ परिसर और ज़्यादा ग्रीन और स्वच्छ हवा, ये चारों पांचों मुद्दों पर हम ही आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. मोदी गवर्नमेंट हैज इन्वेस्टेड लॉट्स इन रिन्यूएबल्स, इन गंगा मिशन, इन वाटर क्लीनिंग, इन एयर
वो
क्लीनिंग.
तो मैं देख रहा हूँ, मगर जैसे सिटीज में व्हीकल और पोल्यूशन,
So
जिस
that
तरह
is
की
why
जो
we want to prepone.
टैक्सिंग ऑफ ऑल दीज बिग
We want,
SUVs.
no, but that is what we are doing. We want to prepone the standards where industry is not still ready.
Industry is not ready. Why is industry not ready?
Because they say that we'll have to evolve some new technologies to suit Indian road condition and driving practices.
Tell me, Javadekar, is industry spending enough on research? Give me an honest view.
See, my earnest view is some industries do research and competitive industries survive only on research. But there is still in Indian industries do not invest that much, and therefore we don't have many patents.
Yeah.
We don't have new innovations, and innovation actually makes country prosper. That's the durable way to be to prosperity.
So will there be some budgetary provisions to encourage this?
The whole Make in India program is innovate in India, make in India, and sell with pride as made in India is all about innovation and jobs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prakash
Yes,
Javadekar,
thank
and
you.
hoping that you really bring something,
Definitely.
contribute to some big positive agreement at Paris.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have in this edition of State of the Economy. We'll be back with you next week. Thanks for watching.